So tell me, where do we begin? Do we start with the failures in the end? Or do you have a burden that pretends? See, I know like me, for you it all started with a dream. To reach the skies that they showed you. But they never mentioned the humbling fall. Was ambition your sin? I can testify it wasn't, because you've let us get to know you. So no one can ever say you never risked it all. And as we tell this story, not history, your story, the story you've let us tell, because you let us in, from the beginning to the end and everything within. I hope that you know that every day is an adventure with you, for all the bold ventures that you see through.
I'll just talk about Airau, just Airau then, because it's probably the business that's probably more public. 2012 is when we started. One of the things that's probably, in this kind of world of AI and automations and, chat GPT, that I think is more important is authenticity. And so we try to figure out what's authentic about a brand and help them articulate that into a video or on their web. Okay, so my name's Leslie Ohene. I own a business called Airau, and we turned 11 years old this year. Yeah, so the focus of Airau is to help businesses tell their story using photo, video, and web. And so kind of the thing that we focus on the most is trying to figure out, kind of what's unique about each business and helping those businesses and those brands tell and spread that story. So I was born in Ghana, came to the United States, then we came here to Canada, and I went to the University of Lethbridge where I got a degree in new media. And so from there, I actually started Airau while I was still in university, and that's the tie there. Just been doing media in some way for a very long time. So I started my first business in high school, which was a photography company, and that parlayed into Airau Weddings, which was a wedding film company, and then Airau Marketing, and now just Airau is kind of what we're called now. When we started Airau, we weren't thinking about anything but weddings, right? So Airau started as a wedding company. So I was a wedding photographer with my business, LOA Film, Photo, and Design, but primarily what I did was wedding photography. So I had a client come to me and she was looking for a videographer for her wedding, and I looked around and I just couldn't see anything that I thought was worthwhile recommending. And so I met up with somebody that I knew who'd just come back from Vancouver in the film industry there, and we created Airau Weddings because we just thought we could do something better. So we went and we tried it, and we did. And so that's where that kind of started. And as we've kind of grown and changed over time, we've kind of distilled and focused a little bit more on what it is that we want to do and what kind of work that we want to do. And so that's how we've changed over time a little bit. My personal mantra is very simply to do more of the things I like doing and do less of the things that I don't like doing. So every year I'm trying to work more and more towards that. How can I possibly do more of the things that I like doing and less of the things that I find tedious or boring or not inspiring to me anymore? And so that drives my decision making and what I choose to work on and how I choose to work on things, and helps guide me a little bit with those kind of decisions. Throughout the years, Airau has kept evolving, and we've been a fairly sizable company with a lot of employees, and we've been really, really small. And so one of the great things about transition is the space changes with you. And so right now I've gone back to kind of the core of where we started, and I'm back at my house, and that's where I'm working out of. And I love doing that, right? I love waking up and having the option of instantly going to work. And then I like having my 4 a.m. sessions where I'm working, not be butt-ended by having to drive across Wiltup Drive on a cold winter day, but being able to just hop upstairs after that 4 a.m. power session and just go to bed. So my home is a space that I really enjoy. It's where I spend the most amount of time, and so for me, it's the perfect place to also work out of. So every business comes with its challenges, you know. There are some unique challenges that probably I would assume a lot of Black business owners can face, right? And so, and whether they're real or just perceived, I'm not sure, right? So, you know, I don't know if you've ever walked into a room and you're surrounded by a bunch of people in this room and decision makers, and you're the only Black person there, right? And what impact does that have on the decision making, or whether or not you're going to get this gig or job? Back when we did weddings, you know, we encounter some people that, well, only one time I encountered somebody who, you know, didn't like that I was there just because of the color of my skin. But, you know, generally speaking, on the wedding side, that was still, for the most part, it was still fine. But in terms of like unique challenges, because I'm a Black business owner, I think about, you know, the idea of funding a business. I think about the idea of connecting with people and feeling included in certain decisions or decision-making processes. One of the things that I think is quite clear is businesses thrive on networks, right? And so if you're not connected or you're not friends with certain people, you'll never be able to get that kind of business, right? And so how do you get into some of those rooms? How do you speak to some of these people if their crowd doesn't include someone that looks like you? And so these are some of the things that I've noticed as a business owner here in Lethbridge that I would say is a bit of a challenge.
We interrupt this episode to bring you behind-the-scenes footage of Leslie Ohene. Our director and chief editor argued about this, but you can probably guess who won. So here we go.
I mean, so the name Airau means absolutely nothing. It means nothing at all. We were sitting at a pub and we wrote down some vowels and we added an R and we came up with the name Airau. And so that's a fun thing that not a lot of people know. So, yeah. Some of my favorite restaurants in Lethbridge include Bourbon and Butter, Brickstone, formerly Mocha Cabana. I guess dead restaurants don't count. Tuan Ho, Mama Lost. I forgot Mama Lost. Okay, let me do that again. I would encourage everybody that lives in Lethbridge to support the brands, and yeah, let me try that again. Reset. I love to go to interesting restaurants, meet cool people. I spend a lot of time playing poker as well, and so my free time is spent. Okay, let me try that again. Great idea. It's been a challenge, and it's been interesting, and it's been dynamic here in Lethbridge. Making money. What stands out to me the most? Okay. In my spare time, you can often find me hanging out with my nephews or family members or some of my good friends, enjoying some great restaurants or playing poker. So there's two categories of relationships that are extremely important to me. So one is family, right? And so I think at the core of everything that I do, it ties back eventually to family. And then the second has to do with the mentors that are in my life. There's only so much that any one individual can understand or know. And there are so many people that have spent their entire life understanding, one kind of business or how to do one certain kind of thing. And so those are the kind of people that I like to tap into and learn from. For me, the greatest accomplishment that our business has had is being able to work with certain clients for years and years and years. So in most kind of creative businesses, clients come and go very quickly. One of the things that I'm most proud of is the way that we've been working with some clients since the day we opened our doors. And I think that really shows the trust that some people put in us and that some companies put in us. And that's something that I really value. And that's something that for me I'm really, really proud of. So looking forward over the next couple of years, what I'd like to do with Airau is to strip back down to the core of Airau, which is creativity, and really focus on that as our business model instead of all the opportunities that come your way that tend to be distracting, right? So it's very easy when a client comes to you and the opportunity's there and the money's there to start dibbling and dabbling into different services that aren't really at your core. And that's what I found that we did over the past 10 years here, is we kept straying off the course of where we started, which at its very core has always been creativity. And so over the next couple of years, what I'm trying to do is hone in on creativity as a business model and see where that takes me. With every project that we work on, the thing that I'm always looking forward to is what can we create out of this? What's the finished product that we're able to build and deliver to the client so that they have something that looks really cool, right? That looks really nice, that is aesthetically pleasing, but also delivers for them in some way. What I look forward to the most when I get a booking with a client is really understanding what their needs are. So one of the first things that we always do is have a conversation about what it is that they actually are wanting, and then I'm trying to figure out what it is that they're actually needing and seeing if those two things align. And so that journey, that process, that figuring it out is something that I love to do.
I would use, when describing myself, I would probably use the word business owner rather than entrepreneur, or solopreneur is probably even closer. But I think one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to owning a business or trying to run and operate a business is the amount of skills that you need, right? And so whether or not you have the core skill of your business, for example, being able to create a video, doesn't mean that you're good at managing people, right? It doesn't mean that you're good at keeping books. It doesn't mean that you're good at community outreach. It doesn't mean that you're good at sales, right? And so you either have to learn these skills or be able to hire people that have these skills that you lack in or aren't the best at, right? And so I think, there's kind of this fantasy about an entrepreneur, and you start your business and, all of a sudden you're rich. And day one, everything goes well. That's not the case at all, right? It takes a lot of skills that you may not have, that you may take a very long time to learn and get good at, or you may have to hire a partner with in order to get there. But this fantasy, this idea that every entrepreneur makes money or is good at what they do, I think it's not true at all.
When it comes to choosing what to work on and what not to work on, for me, the most important question is, can we actually make a difference here? Right? Can we make an impact and deliver on what the expectations are of the client? And sometimes we can, right? Sometimes they actually need something different than what they think they need, and we'll tell them that. And so having that conversation, understanding whether or not we can actually help the client is the most important part of figuring out what it is that we're going to be doing, and even if we can do that for that client. So one of the things that I've benefited the most from as a business owner has actually been partnerships. And so being able to connect with somebody who has done what it is that I'm trying to do before, or has accomplished something that I need, that I can't necessarily get there easily. I've benefited a lot in my life from having really great partners in different businesses, and that partnership has really helped me get a better understanding of different businesses, of myself, and also how to work with other people that have different kinds of personalities. I think when I was younger, I think I used to think I knew a lot. You know, I used to think that I understood a lot of things, and I understood how people think and how the world works. And the truth of the matter is that I didn't know anything, right? And so I would probably tell my younger self to be a little bit more open to other people, and to be a little bit more open to connecting with other people as well, right? And so that's what I would tell my younger self. I'd encourage everybody to maybe pay attention to some of the media that you come across that's targeted locally here, and not pay attention just only to the brands that you see, but also who's making them and who's behind the camera, because there are lots of really great people out here making really great content, and we just happen to be one of them. My name's Leslie Ohene. I own Airau, and we are at the Bold Ventures documentary. Catch us on the next episode of Bold Ventures.
Okay, so this is like call it freestyle moment.
Okay.
You say,
Give me a beat.
say anything you like.
Disclaimer, I'm a better interviewer than I am interviewee. So
I think
anything, I'm gonna wait for you to do something.
Check.
Okay? And then I'll go, well, I don't know. I've got a pretty good hand here, is what I'm trying to say. So I'll bet you $50 that I'm gonna beat you. You can call. Some of my favorite restaurants in Lethbridge include Bourbon and Butter, Brickstone, Mama Laws, and Tuan Ho. Joe's Pizza's pretty good now too. I would say it's better than Two Guys. Just found that place. Great idea. And forcing you to put more in, or I can just fold. Which is what I would do in this case. What'd you have? Something good? You were telling a story and you got it through. You know what? I'll be, and it may not ring true, but I'm actually doing exactly what it is that I want to do. And so I may not be doing it exactly how I want to be doing it right now, but I'm doing exactly what it is that I wanted to be doing.